guess. Let's see.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the first, maybe the last. It's first guest I've got here. Her name's Ivy Jamal. How you doing?
Whoop whoop. I'm good. How are you?
Pretty good, pretty good. Let's start with you. How old are you?
23.
23. You're still young. We're about to go to school. Actually, what's your background?
So my background is I was born in Australia, stayed here till I was 9, and then moved to Lebanon with my parents and my sister, and then had my whole teenage years there. So from the age of like 10 till probably 20. Yeah, it was 20. Yeah, 20. It was an interesting time. It was a very interesting time because it was a third world country and the area I lived in wasn't the best. So it was actually quite an interesting time. Had a lot of situations been in. So it was pretty cool.
What year was that?
What year of what? When I was 9?
When you went back. Yeah, when you went back to Lebanon.
So we went in 2008.
2008, okay. Because what was the times like back then? Like, what was the country like?
So when I first moved there, it was fine. That's when the Civil War in 2006 ended, and it was fine when I moved there. But I think around 2012, maybe, probably 13 years old, something like that, that's when another civil war started, and it was between Jabal Mohsen and Tabene. And we were in the Ibbe. So the Ibbe is the little in-between. So they would be fighting from this side and they're trying to aim gunshots, bombs, whatever, on this side to this side, and we are in the middle.
Wow.
Thank you, Philo. That's literally what my childhood was. I grew up hearing bombs, shots, everything you can think of. I literally had to run from the bus to my building under fire, like literally gunshot fire at certain points. Couldn't keep a pet for the life of me because all the cats I had died because they would sit on the balcony and get shot. It was really bad.
You
Went to school. It was throughout my whole years there. So I think it started, the civil war between Jabba and my senator Ben, I think it started when I was 13.
Yeah.
I think so. And either I was 13 or 12. And then it lasted for about 2 years. But then it stopped. But the violence never ended. Yeah. Because in that country, it's either a civil war that's going on, or it's gangs, or something just terrible just keeps happening and happening and happening. It never stops. Yes. And I think the Beirut bomb was the last biggest thing that happened to me.
Yeah. Do you know much about the Beirut bomb?
What is it?
Do you know much about the Beirut bomb, or?
I experienced it. I experienced it. I was there.
Yeah.
So I have a scar on my neck here from that. I experienced it.
So as a kid,
I was probably 19. I think I was 19 when that happened.
Yeah, so I'm not like having to go to teenagers these days, but like, you know, how they have like, you know, roof over their head and put it on the table and stuff. But yet you're the ones like running for your life like every day for years. You know, like must be so hard. I can't imagine that.
There were some times, I'm not going to lie to you, there were some times when I was a kid, I didn't know if I would wake up the next morning. I would fall asleep to hearing bombs going off. And I didn't know if I would make it to the next morning. The only good thing that was happening in my childhood was literally school. That was it, because my school was located like in the mountains, so it was far away from all of that, right? But in the mornings when we'd get ready for our bus to come through, our bus was a private school bus, so it was owned by the school. It wasn't like public transport. There's no public transport in Lebanon. There's only taxis, but they're shady, like they're really shady. That was only my good times when I would sit at school for 8 hours because I was surrounded by kids who didn't have that. So I went to an international school, right? And these kids live in different areas where they don't need to deal with that. They don't need to hear these every night. And I would just live in my own little bubble acting like I'm one of them, when in reality I wasn't. And when they found out what area I lived in, that's when people started treating me differently.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was a time. It was a time.
Yeah. So after all that's happened, and then did you come back to Australia or?
So I came back when I was turning 21. I think it was a few months before I turned 21. The reason of me coming back. Yeah. The reason of me coming back wasn't because of the situation. It was because of a heartbreak I dealt with. So it was something that I wish no one ever experiences. I was in love with this man. I was going to marry this man. I was engaged to him and everything. Found him cheating on me with a woman that was my friend. That's what, and when that happened, I remember all I did was I removed the engagement ring. This was probably 2 weeks, 3 weeks, maybe a month after we got engaged. I'm not sure the time frame, but I remember it was on Christmas Day when I found out, because Christmas Day is like my happiest day of the year. It's always been that, like, no matter what, Christmas time, I'm jolly and like, yes, Christmas, even though we didn't celebrate it.
Yeah.
But I don't care because my mum's side did. My dad's side did not. My dad's side's Lebanese and stuff. They did not. They're a Muslim family. But my mum's side did. So when I was younger, we would always celebrate Christmas in Australia with my mum's side. But then when we moved, I stopped celebrating it, right? But it would still be the happiest day of the year for me. Walked in, found him cheating with one of my really good friends.
Your heart must have just broke just then and there.
It made me contemplate a lot of things, but my actions actually, I'm proud of what I did, which was I didn't react. I just took off the ring, placed it there, and walked away.
And you were 19 or 20 at that time?
I was 20 at the time.
Yeah. That's very mature. For a 20-year-old.
I'm proud I did that because I'm so happy I didn't go crazy. Because if I went crazy, I wouldn't really be happy now. You know what I mean? I would look back and be like, what the hell?
Yeah, and it wouldn't change the situation anyway. Sorry to hear that, but like I can hear in your voice that like even though you went through 10 years of just like running for your life, but yet it's the heartbreak that hurts the most.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I would have dealt with the bombs and the shootings. Thank you, Shan. Love you. I would deal with the bombs and the shooting. I would deal with that. That's no problem whatsoever. The unsure, the not knowing if I'm going to wake up the next morning, I would do that. But I think what broke me the most was him, because he was my support system through it all. And come to find out that he was a liar the whole time killed me. Because I'm a lover girl. I love love. I love the thought of it. I love romantic things. Yeah. I love it. I used to chase it all the time. But then when that happened, I've changed.
Don't give up. It still exists.
I haven't yet.
I've always given up, but don't give up.
I haven't yet, so we'll see how far it goes.
Did you know how long he was cheating you for?
Yeah, because the situation happened where I was locked in a car with them as well after finding out. So my life is like, as my colleagues tell me, they always say your life is like a movie. And I'm always like, no, it's not. It's just really like not the luckiest like life to have.
But the ending hasn't finished yet, so. It
has not. Yes. There's more to come, as I say to my colleagues. There's more to come. I just do stuff for the plot. There's more to come. There was a situation where I was at a cafe. This was after we broke up. Mind this, when I found out he cheated on me, I could not walk for, I think it was 3 days. I couldn't walk because my muscles in my legs just like cramped. And I think it was the stress. And I went to a cafe, and then all of a sudden she calls me And I'm like, yes, hello. Like, what do you want from me? Thanks, Shan Shan. I'm like, yes, hello. Like, what do you want from me? And she says, can we talk? I'm in front of the cafe. I'm in my car. Me being me, I love hearing people out. Tell me your side of the story. Even if you screwed me over, tell me your side of the story. I will listen to you, but doesn't mean it will change my mind. But I will give you that time to, explain yourself and all of that to make yourself feel better.
Yeah.
But doesn't mean that it's going to change my mind. So I was like, sure. I went to her, sat in the car. She started driving. No words. She's not talking. She's not talking. And I'm like, why'd you call me in? And then he was sitting in the back and I had no idea. Because her windows were tinted.
Yeah. Of course, like you just walk into on the front seat.
So exactly. So I didn't really turn back to make
Yeah.
sure who's in the back seat.
Yeah.
He was there and they start yelling at each other and going off at one another and just screaming, saying the worst horrible things to one another. I'm sitting there in silence. And I just sit there and then I turn to them. This is the funny part. I turn to them like, you guys shouldn't fight. If you guys truly love each other, you shouldn't fight. Became their therapist. Became their therapist.
After they cheated on you. And then, how long was that car ride? Must be like the longest.
Probably an hour or so. We drove to the middle of nowhere. And then when we drove to the middle of nowhere, I'm thinking in my head, so they're either going to murder me right now and like unalive me,
Yeah.
or this is weird. Like, why'd you drive to the middle of nowhere? And then I found out why. Turns out they wanted to have a full screaming match outside the car, and I'm sitting in the car. So they're standing outside the car, screaming at each other, and I'm just like, what is my life? What is my life? And I started contemplating, and I'm like, where I lived, it's very small. Lebanon's tiny, okay? I'm going to bump into these people if I leave my house. What the hell am I doing? I'm sitting here being their therapist while my heart is broken. I've been with this bloke for 3 years and I'm dying inside. Like, I'm dying inside. Like, what the hell is going on? So that's when I decided enough's enough. I'm going to leave because I can't. And mind, these two of my sisters were already here. So the sister that moved with me already left back to Australia when she was 18. She's only 10 months older than me. Okay. She went back to Australia for education reasons and all of that. And then my elder sister, who's 11 years older than me, never moved with us to Lebanon. She stayed here. So I'm like, what am I doing here? My sisters who I haven't seen in years. I haven't seen my elder sister in 11 years. My sister who's 10 months older than me, I haven't seen her in probably, I don't know, at that point, it was probably 4 years. Yeah. At that point, maybe. I'm not quite sure, maybe less. I'm not quite sure. But I'm like, what am I doing? What am I doing? They came back to the car, didn't say one word, went back to the cafe, sat on a rock. There was a rock. Don't ask me why. There's always rocks.
It's funny you remember the small details.
Exactly, because it was so weird. And I just sat there on the rock, not even in the cafe, on the rock, and just contemplated everything and replayed everything in my head, like a loop for like 10 times over.
Yeah.
And then I went home. Yeah. I went home, told my dad. I said, listen, I can't do this anymore. And he figured out why. Not figured out it was because of my ex. And he's like, you know what, I understand. He's like, there's no future for you here anyways. There's literally no future there. He's like, there's no future for you anyways. So pack your bags. You go. Do your thing. So came here and started a whole new life with nothing. And now I've turned it into something.
When you came here, I
don't know if it's lagging.
I don't know. Is it me? Am I lagging? So when you came here, did you study anything, or did you just come work?
So, the second day I was here, I was working at a cafe. I started working at a cafe the second day I was here. Jet lagged still. Mind this, I was so jet lagged.
A war-torn country. heartbroken, everything. Second day, of course, you'd be like dead.
You know what motivated me? It was the fact my ex always used to say this to me for 3 years straight. You're never getting anywhere in life without me. He said that all the time. And that's what motivated me to change. Like, that girl I was died in that car. She was gone in that car.
Yeah.
And when I left the plane to come Sydney, like when I left that plane, I knew there's no turning back. I knew I will never go back. And it's a new life. And I'm going to be a person that I want to look up to, that I've always wanted to look up to when I was a kid. Yeah. So I instantly started working and I was studying. So I was studying business and administration. Business and management administration. Anyways, studied that, finished the course. The course was meant to be 1 year long. I finished it within 6 months while having 2 jobs. Then did work experience. So I had 3 jobs and I was studying my other certificate in project management. So 3 jobs I was studying that. Then I dropped the 3 jobs and focused on the one main job that I work at currently. And so then I dropped those, got my project management certificate, whatever, all that stuff. And now I'm moving on to another role at another company as a project manager. That's all in the span of, I don't know, almost 3 years.
That is nuts, but good nuts. Not, you know, type of nuts. Like that's amazing, Ivy. Like you got yourself to be so proud of, because that's amazing. Do you still keep in contact with your parents?
My mum lives with me. My sister does too. My dad is over there.
Okay.
Due to the situation that's going on now,
I know.
I don't know what to say about that. I've lived with it my whole life. It's always been that way. Before any of the news and the media said this is now starting there, that has always been there. Yeah. That has been happening since I was a kid. So all those videos, I've lived it. So I'm looking at it now being like, why are you all now so hyped about it? This has been happening my whole life. Yeah.
Why is that? Do you know?
It's a corrupt country.
Oh, I think let's go back. Before we'll come back to that. Let's go back a few years when the government stopped all their citizens from accessing the money from the bank. What was the deal with that?
That was for US dollar reasons. So I'm not really good with politics. I'm horrible at it. I try to stay away from it. But what my understanding is, they cut them off from the banks and stuff during the revolution that was happening.
Right.
But they were already slowly doing that anyways.
Yeah. Okay.
They're just trying to gain control. It's all gaining control. Yeah. At the end of the day, they were trying to gain control of the civilians out there. Yeah. And to be honest, unfortunately, this was happening in Gaza before Lebanon.
Right.
And they did that in Gaza, in Palestine, before they took full control.
Okay.
So we're just the pre-game of what's going to come. Okay. I know my dad's there. I know my family's there, and it breaks my heart every day because I don't know what the hell's going to happen. I don't know what's happening next. I don't know if I'm going to be able to talk to them tomorrow. You know what I mean? But that's what I told you on the chat. I'm passionate about life. Yeah. I'm passionate about living every day because I know what it's like to fear not knowing what's tomorrow. So every day I talk to my dad, I make sure it's the best conversation and as if it's going to be the last one. You know, so it's a sad situation, but it's the reality of it.
Yeah, but you're so strong. Like I thought I was strong, but I'm like, nah, I'm like a piece of shit. Like, no way, nothing compared to you. You've been through everything, like literally, figuratively, like hell and back, and yet you're still able to, you know, like get a job, you know, get your like education, everything start over new, and still here and still keep fighting. That's good. Like,
well, if I wasn't this way, I would be wallowing in self-pity, and would I rather wallow in self-pity and do nothing with my life, or would I rather thrive and use my trauma to stay motivated?
Yeah.
Which one? Because the first option's not going to get me anywhere. It's not going to make me proud in a few years. It's not going to make me proud to tell my future children where I came from. It's not going to make my father proud, my mother proud. It's not going to make them proud. So why do that? You know?
I'd be proud right now, like this, even where you've run.
Yeah,
Does your dad have any plans to come to Australia, or no?
My dad is coming to Australia at my sister's wedding in a few months.
Yeah.
Hopefully he ends up coming here. He's going to stay for a month and then go back. He will not leave the country because of his mother.
Yeah.
My grandmother's still there. He will not leave. He will not leave. He said, I will not leave her by herself.
But wouldn't the government stop flights back because there's like warnings or something, or no?
Depends on who you know.
Okay, fair. Yeah.
It's all corruption. It depends on who you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
And now you've got a job. Like you don't have to say like a company and stuff, but what roles do you work in?
Right now?
Yeah.
So it's basically customer service in a way.
Yeah, cool. No, that's good. And you go gym?
100%.
You look so strong. Like
I used to be a big girl. I used to be a really big girly.
No way.
I was 114 kilos.
And how tall are you? Don't mind me asking.
5'7".
5'7". What's up with you and your imperial system? I think it's about 170.
I have no clue.
Yeah, pretend now I'll know that. Nah, actually I don't, because I did maths the other day and it was way off. Someone corrected me.
I'm so bad at math.
Join the club. I don't fit the stereotype.
Oh God, yeah.
Oh man, like let's go into details if you don't mind me. I want to ask
go ahead.
details now. So when you were like going to school, when you were like say from 9 to like 9 years old until you were like 15, 16, what was the most memorable moment that like maybe let's name two where you were like, oh, that was like a close one, like it nearly hit me or whatever, or like something did hit you actually in your neck.
Yeah. So I was about 15, I think, and I was coming off the bus from school. I was coming off the bus and I was walking to my building, and a guy was walking next to me, just a normal guy, and he got hit. And he was right next to me, and I saw him get hit, and he was on the floor, and I was trying to help him, but I didn't know what to do. He was an older dude. He was an older guy. Didn't know first aid. Nothing like that. So
did you feel like body parts like and blood and everything?
Yeah, it was bad, but then he survived. People came and helped, so he survived. That's a great thing. He actually later on came to tell me, like, if you didn't scream, nobody would have came down from their buildings to help me. Yeah. And I was only 15, and he's an amazing guy. I really hope he's doing well. Yeah. He started working for my dad later on, so that's great.
That's good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I hope he's doing great, honestly. And there was another time where okay, so basically I was in a cafe. This was the cafe my ex worked in. So he was working, I was there being the supportive girly, whatever. And then he finished his shift and we went to this other cafe called Sase. And we saw a guy get shot, and we were literally the table right in front of him.
But was it like guns, or was it a rocket?
It was guns blazing. Like there were guns blazing at the time.
Shooting each other and shit.
Yeah, it was just spontaneous though. Like there was nothing going on. It was a peaceful night, and all of a sudden we hear this bang, and this guy in front of us just dropped, and we looked at each other, and we instantly ran, like physically ran from Sase to the cafe my ex works at. We ran, and that's probably a 20-minute walk. We ran really fast. And then my mum starts calling me like crazy because she heard the news. Like people, instant chats. Everyone gets news within 5 seconds on WhatsApp. Like everyone talks to everyone. Everyone knows everyone. She starts calling me being like, where are you? This and that. I'm like, oh, I'm where my ex works. And she says, go home now. Somebody got shot this place. And I was like, yeah, that's 20 minutes away. Like, we're fine. Her not knowing, I was there, who witnessed it all. And I came home acting completely normal. Cried myself to sleep that night, but completely normal.
So you dogged the counting or nothing, seen all these like things. You must have seen so much, like as if like you're a soldier who goes to war and sees these things.
Yeah, unfortunately, a lot of people there have.
And now it's, so let's compare that from then till now. Is it still the same amount of fighting, or is it like increased a bit now?
It's increased way more.
I know this is gonna be a hard question, but like, how would you think, or if you could fix it, how would you fix it?
There's no way of fixing it. So this is the thing, right? Even if I had the power to fix it, I would not be able to. Because the people are so used to destruction. They're not used to stability. They're not used to a calm day. So if you do that and you make it calm and you make people who've dealt with so much trauma and is used to hearing those things every day, and you give them a healthy life and with nothing like that, no trauma all of a sudden, they will make the trauma happen just so it goes back to their norm, because they will freak out being like, why is it so quiet? Why is it so quiet? Why am I not hearing this? Why has no one died yet? Why this? Why that? This is why you cannot fix it, because they will make the, like, what's it called? They will make it bad to make it their normal again. They're used to it.
I never thought of it that way before. Like I thought you can, if you had a magic wand, you can wave it and fix it. They might just.
I wish I could, but people have trauma, right?
Yeah.
So the thing is, when they say break the cycle, it's hard breaking the cycle because you're used to this. It's your norm. So imagine thousands and millions of people who are used to the norm of hearing bombs every night and shootings and this and that, and then you take it away from them, and it has become their comfort zone, by the way. Mind this, it has become their comfort zone.
Wow.
If you take that away, what will they do? They will try to make sure it's their comfort zone again. They will try anything to go back to that because they're so used to it. It's their norm. When I was younger and it was a quiet day, I freaked out.
Yeah, I was gonna ask,
I used to freak out. What's this? I would always be like, what's going on? Something bad is coming. I would think they're planning something even worse to come.
Yeah.
And when I moved here, I already knew. Life is not going to be like that here. Yeah. I already knew it. So when I came here, it wasn't that big of a shock because I already knew the lifestyle here because I was here when I was younger. And then when people say, oh my God, he's such a Moe and whatever, he's so hard and this and that. Yeah. That's not hard. You think that's hard? The Lebos here that try to act big and tough, I laugh at them because I'm like, what are you doing? Yeah. You actually have no clue what it's like. And then when they say, oh, I'm Lebanese, I will put you there for a week. Let's see if you survive with no electricity, with no water. You couldn't shower for days on end. You couldn't do your homework properly because you couldn't see when you came home because it was nighttime. By the time you came home, it was night and there was no electricity. Wow. Or watching people you care about pass away, about like not due to old age either. So you can't sit here and tell me I'm so hard and I'm this and I'm Lebo and I'm blah, blah, blah. You're nothing, cuz. You're actually nothing. I'm not impressed by it. When guys do that, I am not impressed whatsoever.
Complain like no Wi-Fi, internet. It's the end of the world.
Literally, when that outage happened, I was like, oh, I feel like I'm back home. Like, I don't care. Yeah. When electricity goes out, like, for example, the circuit breaker, I'm like, oh, looks like I'm back home. Yeah. I can live with no electricity. I can live with no water. I'm very adaptable to those things because of what I lived. But then these people are like, oh my God, Mom, turned off the line. Like, what? You're actually dumb. Yeah. What do you mean?
All Okay, let's go back to the first civil war that they had. Did you know much about it, or because I know nothing?
Civil wars have been happening there for over 70 years. So even before I was thought of.
Yeah.
It's been happening for such a long time. There was the French that invaded. I don't even know who invaded. I don't even know the history properly about it. All I know is that it just continuously kept happening.
Happening, and it's civil war. That's. It seems to happen a lot, like in countries, like other countries as well. Because
Yep.
with our family, we fled Vietnam because the North was fighting the South.
Yeah.
And we were safe, so we kind of fled the same. But then I stayed in refugee camp in Thailand.
Yeah.
Like I thought eating rice and water was bad, but after hearing your story, I was like, I got it sweet, like rice and water is fucking sweet.
No, we didn't starve. This is the good thing though. We never starved. We always had food. We always had a supply of water on the side. We had a generator sometimes that we were able to put on and off, We were good in that way because my dad was very smart and he knew before anything happened that it was going to happen. He knew it because he knows the signs. He knows the telltale signs of it all. So we were always prepared for it. It just, no matter how prepared you are for it, no matter how many supplies you have, no matter even if you're under shelter and you're okay, hearing those bombs go off, I'm still terrified of loud noises.
What does it sound like? Like it's like fuck, I don't know. I don't want to like trigger you or anything like.
It's like, how do I explain it? So when it's close, you feel the vibrations.
Okay.
When it's super close, things are gonna be fucked at home because your windows are gonna break. My windows were double glass for a reason.
Yeah.
When it's far away, all you hear is a little boom. That's all you hear.
Okay.
So I can tell the distance, and I could have told you if I was still there. I could have told you what areas that went off in due to the distance and the sound.
Wow.
That's how bad it was.
Yeah.
I remember I went to Croatia because when the revolution was happening, people not threatened, but warned my dad saying, your daughter and your wife are at risk of getting kidnapped and being on, human trafficking if they are here during the revolution. So my dad made us, I got an emergency passport and everything because my passport expired. We got an emergency passport and we fled to Croatia for 3-4 months to just wait until the threat was over. And I came back home. And by the way, I hated my life in Croatia, not because it's not beautiful. It's a beautiful country, but I was 18 and all my friends, my partner, everyone I loved was there suffering. And why am I here safe? It felt like a little bit of
It's guilty.
Exactly. I was so guilty. It was like survivor guilt in a way. Like, why am I here with 24-hour electricity and good food and loving family and being safe? And they're out there suffering. You know what I mean? And so when I came back, I found a bullet hole in my window. I found two. There was one from my first window that the bullet was still stuck in it. And there was one where it went through the double glass window and hit my ceiling because you could find the scratch mark and you could find the bullet on the floor.
Holy shit.
So if I was there in my room at that time, I probably would have been gone.
Yeah.
So
Things happen for a reason, like.
Exactly. Everything happens for a reason.
Yeah. So I'm just thinking, like, it's been going on for that long. Who's funding the money for the bullets and the rockets? Because it's non-stop all the time.
I honestly believe it's Israel and America that do it.
There was a list. I don't know if you've seen of all the companies and everything around the world that's involved, and then they say like the best way to like me and you can't do shit about it. So then like the best way is if everyone just boycott them and just not buy their stuff or no.
That's not gonna work.
Okay.
It's not going to work because they have so many stores and so many things. And by the way, those people who own those companies, they own other companies as well that aren't represented under that company. So if you don't buy from that company and that company becomes bankrupt, they have backups that you have no idea about. That's how business works. It is what it is. Even if you boycott it, like, it doesn't matter. They have a backup.
At least like they lose billions of. I think like some company already lost like $7 billion or something since that like listen that thing came out. I think that there's an app called No Thanks app. I think it's called, and you can scan like the barcode or whatever, and it'll tell you whether if that item is involved in like funding that or not. But,
Yeah, so they probably had a backup company as well.
Yeah.
And that isn't funding it.
Mm.
That is a really big company as well, because they had the funds to build a big company, So it's probably not funding it, and they're already getting their backup money from that as well. So either or, like, it's lose-lose for everyone.
Yeah. So,
Yep.
you reckon? Well, I haven't followed this what is the attack recently closely enough, but have you been following or?
I have followed a little bit because I follow these pages regardless. I found out I stopped following just a few days ago because I found out one of my friends has passed away through that.
Oh, sorry to hear about that.
It's okay. So my friend Hassan Adib, bless him, bless his soul, he was my friend since I was a kid. He was a paramedic. And I'm assuming, I'm not sure, that he was helping someone and they just kaboom,
Oh.
Because me knowing him, he doesn't care if it's the worst conditions and no, you have to save yourself. Like, don't worry about them. He will go and voluntarily put himself as a human shield to save someone. Me knowing him, because he's done it for me. When I got, whatever, someone came and like, yeah, cool. I was, stabbed at one point. He was in danger of getting that as well. He didn't care. He came to save me. And I'm forever grateful for that. Without him, I would have bled out and I wouldn't be alive right now, to be honest.
That's a real
He was amazing. And I found out through social media, through just random names of people who were casualties, that he did not survive. And that's messed up. I found out while I was at work. And that's messed up. I was like, are you joking me? No one told me because they couldn't keep track of who was passing away. And because I had so many friends, who's going to know? You know what I mean?
But there's like hundreds, like it doesn't add up.
There's hundreds. I know this because of my area. A lot of people have passed away in my area due to the situation. So, yeah, no, there's hundreds. Half the population of Beirut's gone. But what I've heard through people who are living through it, half of the population's gone. Like, I'm just waiting for them to just say the truth already. Like, I think Hassan Nasrallah, he passed away. They said that he passed away. He's like the leader of Hezbollah. He's one of the leaders. I heard that he passed away. I don't know if it's true or not, but that's what I heard. So I don't think it'll make much of a difference, but yeah.
Yeah, comes the next guy take over or something, like this one dude.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I don't think it'll make any difference.
Yeah, maybe just to make people feel better about attacking other places. Anyway.
They were like saying Israel did it, but then I'm like, funny. I don't really believe it, but okay.
What do you think the real answer is?
I don't believe he's actually gone. I think they faked it. 100% faked it.
Yeah, just like nowadays, it's hard to try and believe in anything.
Exactly.
Yes, it's like, oh, is that? Is it? Are they? Like,
you never know, exactly, and especially because of AI, you never know on social media if something's real or not, because they can generate a whole entire video, and you will have no clue if it's real or not.
Yes. I noticed with AI, two things I can't get right is one is the hair, like the hair, like the individual hair when they're walking, they can't get right, and their fingers and thumb when
Yeah.
they're moving, it looks it looks
Weird and
abstract.
warped.
Yeah, that's the only two things I haven't mastered, but I reckon they'll get it right with like
Time and stuff, yeah.
with ChatGPT 5. I reckon they'll get it, but
Yeah.
okay, let's go back to I think the next thing I was going to talk about was your neck injury.
So it doesn't really show that much. The scar's not
Can see
that
it, can see it.
prominent
Yeah.
as it used to be before.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's when I was in Beirut. I was at a friend's house,
Yeah.
and this was during the day of the bomb. And I was at a friend's house, and do you know? No, I don't think they made this video public that much. Anyways, there was this video that circled around, and I was in the background. I don't know if anyone can find it. I don't know. I have not seen it. I haven't seen it in years. So I was in the background, and this girl is screaming on top of her lungs. They bombed, they bombed, they bombed. Mind this, I'm passed out on the floor. Her sister's passed out on the floor. These were my friends. We were just chilling, having a good time. And then it happened, and it was like, what the hell?
What date and what do I need to search to find that? Because I will try and find it.
I will have no clue. I don't even remember the date of the bomb. I don't remember the date.
Year? Like,
I was 19. It would be 2014,
13.
No, it would have been 2000, because I'm 2001, baby. So it would have been 2020.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, yeah, that's right. 2020.
Yeah, it would have been 2020.
Okay, I'll try and.
Oh, wait, so that means I moved to Lebanon, not 2008. I moved to Lebanon in 2010. Sorry. I kept putting the year behind for some reason.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Background. Yeah, I'll try to look for that. I'm pretty sure I'll find it.
Yeah, so she was screaming, and I was just in the back, and nothing that bad happened to me. This was just because it cut me. It wasn't that deep.
Okay.
It just cut me. A glass cut me. It wasn't that deep. It was a very superficial wound, but because it was a big cut, that's why it left this mark. Other than that, it wasn't that deep, and I didn't have to go to hospital or anything because I was fine. My friends were fine as well. She just cut her face a little bit, and then the other one, she had a little bit of cuts on her arms.
You two are fucking gangsters. You ask me, walking around. I don't need to go to hospital, like big ass gash.
Well, I actually have a scar here. I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah, I can see it. Yeah, it's very visible.
This scar is a funny story.
Oh, okay, I want to hear this. Go
So
ahead.
this one I put myself in. Okay, I take full responsibility, and my mum knows this story now. I lied to her for a whole year straight. Okay, so I was up in the mountains with my friends, and we were all getting drunk. Okay, we were getting drunk, not being good kids, and I was 19.
No, that's normal.
At the time.
That's normal.
Yeah, and we were all getting drunk. So even the driver was drunk, and this is bad. Okay, so my friend and I, bless him, Jamal, I was like to him, oh, what if I break the bottle in the movies in the bars? What if I break the beer bottle? And I start doing it, and he looks at me, he's like, you can't do it. And I'm like, dude, I can, and I will. So me being stubborn as I am, I broke it. The glass sliced my finger to a point where I saw the bone.
Oh.
And I went like this. I was like, I'm fine. And when I did, I'm fine. The whole bone, it was so bad. And I was freaking out. And I was like, oh my God, what the hell? My friend came and I told her, cut my shirt and wrap it really tight so we can stop the bleeding, because it was bleeding so much that the blood started becoming a slime. It was actually disgusting. Anyways, it was actually really gross. So we did that, and then we started thinking. And I'm sitting on this rock that's covered in my blood, by the way, and my whole body is covered in my blood because it was all dripping all over me. And we're thinking to ourselves, all of us, we all sobered up all of a sudden. We're thinking to ourselves, how are we gonna tell my mother? That's the only thing we're thinking of. Not that my bone's showing. Not that this is really bad. No. How are we going to tell my Balkan mother
I'm going to lie to her.
What lie do we come up with? And then I'm like, okay, let's think. And then my friend Jamal is sitting there laughing his ass off because I think I did so. Oh, yeah. But prior to doing that, I like said something to him or did something. I don't remember what it was, just being a bitch. I was being a bitch and I love him. He's like my best friend in the whole world, like whatever. And I did something. I don't remember what it is exactly. And he came up to my face this close and said to me, "Karma's a bitch, isn't it?" And I just looked at him like, you fucking bastard, you bastard. Why? Why now? Like, really now? He's like, I'm thinking about I'm not going to get my ass whooped. And you're saying this to me. And he's like, I'm going to tell your mum the truth. Don't. I like looked at him. I was like, please don't. Pleaded him, begged him, whatever. We get in the car. We're driving back to the resort that I used to stay at in summer, because we used to stay at a resort, and that's a very normal thing in Lebanon where everybody just finds a chalet in the resort and stays there for the whole summer. It's very normal over there. So we're driving there, and then my friend Dorina, bless her heart, calls my mum off my phone, and because it was so windy and the line was already so bad, all my mum heard on the phone was Ivy, blood, hospital. Meanwhile, this was during COVID.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, this was during as well when people were like going crazy and there was like a lot of shooting going on as well. Jeez. My mum's freaked out. She's like, what? She's like, don't worry. We're coming your way. My mum's driving us. Her mum was not driving us. It was a boy. But okay. And then we go there. I enter the parking lot and the security guard first told me, he's like, what did you do now? That's his first reaction. That's how much you can tell how much of a bad kid I was, okay? Yeah. He's just used to this. And he's like, what did you do now? And I'm like, nothing. And I just like put my head down. I was like, damn it. I look at my mom. My mom looks at me and she looks all over me. She's like, where's the bleeding coming from? And I'm like, my hand. And then she looks at me, she's like, are you drunk? And I'm like, no, not at all. Meanwhile, she was drinking wine, so like it was fine. She was already off her face, and I'm just like, eh. And then we go up to the chalet, and good thing that I had food poisoning days prior, right? So my mum already had a saline bag. It was a horrible week. My mum already had a saline bag for me because that was a whole other story on its own, but a saline bag. And so she was like, I'm going to flush it because my mum she used to be in hospital all the time. So she already knows the procedure of everything. Has some education and background in medicine that I don't even know. I don't remember. She told me a long time ago. I think it was a nurse. I don't remember. Anyways, so she really knows what to do, right? First aid, whatever, saline bag, cool, great, fine. I have to get stitches.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm not taking you to the hospital where there's COVID. I'm not getting sick. Yeah. And I'm like, but I'm dying. She's like, I will use butterfly stitch, like the butterfly, what's it called?
Staples.
Not even the staples, they're like stickers.
Oh
you know the ones you put for the tiny ones?
Yeah, like yeah.
That. And I'm like, damn it. I'm like, fine, gotta be a champ about this. I had a full-blown panic attack. I was screaming, I was crying. I was begging. I was pleading. I was like, please don't touch me. Please don't touch me. This is disgusting. And she calls her doctor friend and is like, listen, Sibba, get to my chalet. My daughter's an idiot. Okay? She's screaming and crying with me, but I bet you she won't do it to you because she tries to act up in front of you, which is true. I do. In front of people, I try to put on this front that I'm strong and woo, nothing phases me, even if I'm like dying inside. Yeah. So she's like, she's going to do this with me. She won't do it with you. So come here. She comes, my mum leaves. As I thought my mum left. She went to the other room.
Yeah.
Okay. I was completely fine. I wasn't crying anymore. I didn't want to cry in front of the doctor. What do you mean? Finally covered it up and wrapped it up. And my mum's like, she comes out. She's like, you're such an actress, but okay. And then she's like, you're not allowed to leave the chalet because it's really hot. And because I had a bandage on as well. She's like, and then it's going to get infected and gross and disgusting. Yeah. Me being me.
You left.
I left. Don't tell me what to do. I left. And she was like, you can't. I'm like, I'm leaving. And I started skateboarding. I fell on the hand. And it got worse. And it started bleeding again. So I had to go back and do the whole thing again. And then stitch it up again. So what happened the next day, you may ask?
What did happen?
I decided to play soccer.
An idiot.
But not just a normal soccer game. I was the goalie. Because I wanted to prove a point that I can do it, mother. You tell me no, but I will do it. And she was watching all of this go down by this. She already knew when I was leaving. She already knew I was getting into trouble. So she's like, I'm going to let her learn the hard way.
Yeah.
The ball hit my hand.
Of course it would.
Happened again. I had to go back up and I looked at my mum and she's like, really? She's like, we're running out of everything right now. Like, really, this is not the time. And she had to restrain me to the chalet and lock me in because we were running out of saline water and the freaking butterfly things and the rat. She's like, no more. And she sits me in and I'm like, but I don't want to be in the AC chalet with Wi-Fi and TV. Ooh, I want to be out. Like, really? Really? Looking back, I'm so stupid, but yeah, that's the story of it.
Because you're tough, since you're a kid, that's nothing, you know what I mean? Like, let's look at your hand. I'm surprised it hasn't like keloid scar or anything.
Yeah, that's the scar.
Bro, that's nothing. That's nothing.
I know. I'm so surprised. I also have a scar from falling asleep on coal, but it's not showing that much.
Jeez.
I know, it doesn't show. I fell asleep on coal.
Mutual reference, super glue. So you do with the tape and then the super glue in the middle, it stays together, so it doesn't open up. It helps. Like, legit never opens up. That's what they do for like big like gash. That's what they do in like, just like in the jungle or whatever, you get like a big slash. You use super glue. It holds it together. Yeah.
That's disgusting.
Yeah. Disgusting.
No.
You like open wound and everything, playing soccer and stuff. Playing goalie.
Honestly, I was so stupid because I'm the one who said I want to be goalie as well. Like, they all looked at me like they knew what happened, right? And they're looking at me. And by the way, the lie I told my mum for a whole year straight was I fell down while climbing a rock wall. Do you really think she believed that?
No.
She didn't. She just acted like she did. And because my dad just believes anything that comes out of my mouth, he believed it.
Of course. Every day. But your dad knows the real story, but he just chooses like...
He's convincing himself not to. Yeah. And then finally, after a year, I said it by accident in front of her to my friend Jamal. I was like, do you remember the time I broke that bottle? And then she was like, sorry? And I was like, oh, Mum, come sit down. We'll tell you the truth. Come. So I knew she wouldn't whoop my ass in front of him, as I thought. That's what I thought, right? But then he came to a point where he became my best friend. So she doesn't care anymore. She's like, I'm going to whoop your ass and his ass. I don't give a shit. So I finally told her the truth, thinking she's not going to throw the slipper at me.
Yeah.
Best believe she didn't just throw the slipper at me. She threw the slipper, the wooden spoon, everything she got her hands on. And then he tried to protect me and she threw them at him too. She was like, you didn't tell me. So there you go. You get punished as well, Jamal. And I'm just like, damn it.
Did she miss? Like, you're deadly accurate sometimes.
No, she didn't miss one. I wish she did. I wish she missed. No, she didn't.
She should play darts.
She should, but I bet you she won't aim because she's not angry at the dart.
You know what? Play darts with the shoe.
That's how Balkans do it.
Oh my god.
But yeah.
Okay, let's go back to saline water. You talked about. What's the story of that?
Oh, it was really bad. I don't know what happened. So me and my friends would stay up all night on my balcony in the chalet because my chalet was the go-to chalet.
Yeah.
Because we had AC on 24/7 and because their mums and dads didn't want to spend that much money on AC, they never put it on. They only put it on when actually needed. We were like, no, we paid electricity a year in advance so we can use it as much as we want. Yeah. So my place was the go-to. Yeah. Right? And because my mom was very chill and she was very social, she didn't care. My dad didn't sleep in the chalet. He hated it. So he would sleep back home and come like once a week. So my mom was very chill and very social. She was like, you guys can hang out as long as you want. I really don't care. And she'd go to sleep. She sleeps with the loudest noises. She's so easy to sleep. She's like, she doesn't care. So I don't know what happened that night. I don't know what we ate that night. But me and two other friends got really sick. But everyone else was fine. But we got really sick, the three of us. We got a bug or something, or food poisoning. I don't know. The next day, shivering, vomiting, everything under the sun, disgusting, so gross. And then my mum got saline water because I was dehydrated as hell. She tried putting the needle on me, and because I was so dehydrated, she couldn't find a vein, so she kept stabbing me with the needle. And it was torture. It was torture because I was sitting there, I was like, oh my God, kill me now. Oh my God. I was sitting there, I'm like, ah. And like, it was torture. That was traumatizing. So traumatizing. It was so bad.
Yes, I can attest to that. Yeah, that hurts heaps.
Well, at the end of the day, she was like, screw it, I'm not putting it in. Then I looked at her, I was like, really?
Okay, how many times before she gave up?
Like 7.
Oh my God.
I looked at her, I was like, really? And then she brought her doctor friend, Siba, which is like one of her best friends. She couldn't find a vein either. So I was getting stabbed with her too. And I'm like, you're a pediatrician. Like, really?
It's a profession, yeah.
You're a pediatrician.
Oh my
Like,
God.
really? And then I just felt like a voodoo doll just getting stabbed constantly. And I was like, are you... And they did it on both arms and then both hands. And I'm like, are you joking me? I woke up the next day completely fine. It was so weird. Completely fine. Perfect. Whatever. I don't know why. Well, a few days later, that's when that happened to me with the hand thing and the bottle. So,
Oh my God.
it was not a good week that week. And I had a possessed cat as well that week, so that was another thing.
Dude, oh my God, like, everything bad could happen, did happen. But
Yeah, those 2 weeks were weird. I say it till now, those 2 weeks were weird because I saved this cat from getting hit by a car. Okay, and this cat was weird because he started nibbling on my neck, and I like felt weird energy from this cat, and I was like, this is weird. And I'm like, whatever, it's a cat, I saved it. Love animals, live, love life. Animals like love, right? So then I basically started noticing a lot of bad things started happening in my family and with the people that would come to my chalet. And then one time I was saying this to my mom, I was like, I think the cat's possessed. And as I said that, this cat walked past this drilled in shelf that's drilled in the freaking wall.
Yeah.
This shelf fully collapsed. Fully collapsed. Explain why, how, what.
Was the cat on it or just walked
No,
past?
just walked past it, and it was a black cat too. And I'm like, are you joking me? So then my mum's friend's husband, who is like a Muslim priest, a sheikh, came in and we told him the situation. And he looked at me and he started reading Quran. This cat started going ballistic.
What?
Like as if like a demon is exiting it, started wrapping itself in the clothesline with the clothes so then we wouldn't catch it. Went inside one of our closets that we couldn't catch it, started scratching us. It was so bad, and he kept doing it. I'm like telling him, can you stop? Can you stop for a minute, the exorcism? Just for one moment, stop the exorcism and do it outside. We want this cat outside because I don't mess with that type of stuff. I don't mess with that type of stuff. And I literally said to him, I was like, we'll just finish the exorcism outside when we finally get the cat. He's like, no, once we start, we can't finish till it's done. I'm like, are you joking me? This cat starts peeing and hissing at the same time. So it's like hissing and then you can find a waterfall behind it. Like it's bad. And I'm like, are you
on a leash?
No, it wasn't on a leash. It was just running everywhere and doing that. And I'm like, are you... We couldn't catch it. And then finally, I don't know how or what, somebody opened the door. I don't remember who. Someone opened the door and it ran out. And once it ran out, the guy stopped and I was like, oh my God, that was crazy. I never thought that would ever happen to me. And I'm like, that is insane.
Yeah, like I usually wouldn't believe those kind of stories, but like until like something's happened to me like a few times, I was like, okay, yeah, no, I believe that 100%.
That's insane. I never thought that could happen. And then I saw that cat downstairs and I told my friend, I was like, hey, this cat's possessed. Don't go near it because it's a cute cat. I was like, this cat's possessed. And he's like, I don't believe you. I was like, read some Quran. So he did it. And the cat literally climbed up his leg, like like
That's what I
nails
mean.
and all, and then it just went down and ran away. And I'm like, do you see what I mean?
Holy shit.
He didn't believe me till it happened. I was like, do you see? And then I stopped seeing the cat, and I was like, I don't know where it went, but all right, cool.
At least it's not next to you, so who cares?
I'm like, bro, like literally that week, and I had that cat after my hand got cut and everything. A few days after, that's when that cat left.
Oh. So when it was around, all the bad things, super bad things happened. Like
Yeah.
happened. And like
Yeah.
even like clouded your judgment with even like playing soccer as well.
Yeah, probably.
Your hand.
No, I don't blame the cat for that.
That was on me. That was on me.
Hi,
Cat's nothing to do with
baby.
it. What kind of cat's?
He's a tabby. His name's Dobby.
Oh, I gotta do the puzzle. There we go.
His name's Dobby, so he's a
and
cutie.
Dobby.
Dobby has no master. Dobby's a free elf.
I think this is a good time to call it. It's a little bit an hour, but I feel like I need to do like part 2, even part 3 with you if you don't mind one day, whenever you're ready and stuff like that.
Yeah, I don't mind.
But I'd like to thank you for sharing your stories. Like you know, like I thought I lived like a hard life, you know, like being in a refugee camp and stuff. Because like although we didn't have much to eat, but at least we had like
You guys
security.
became skinny itty bitty. I was fat, so
But no, we grew our own veggies and stuff. But then like we had security, you know, like there was no bombs coming at us and stuff. The only thing we couldn't do was leave a compound. But everything
Yeah.
else was like, you know, just like the roof over your head and stuff like that. So and clean
Yeah.
drinking water. But I'm really grateful.
everyone has a story.
Yeah, but I want to ask into like more details and stuff next time. But yeah,
Yeah, that's totally fine.
really thank you for sharing. And
All good.
you are so strong. Like I have much respect for you. And I bet you thought when I asked you to like a question, you thought, okay, what's he gonna say now? Like, you didn't think we'd be having this kind of conversation today.
Yeah, nah. I thought it was gonna be superficial stuff, but I was like, you know what? That's fine. I'm an open book.
Yeah. No. Thanks for sharing. Like I can't wait to do it again. So,
Can't wait.
but thanks for everything, and I'll be in touch again.
Thank you. Take care. Bye.
Thanks. Bye, everyone.